Terence Crawford. Like I said yesterday in my final prediction video, Terence Crawford was going to stop Shawn Porter in the 10th round, and I called it. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. So we got some huge news for the pound for pound, former pound for pound king, because Canelo's the pound for pound king, and Terence Bud Crawford. Well, Terence Crawford's still on my pound for pound list, but you know he's not pound for pound king. But anyway, sorry guys. But anyway, Terence Crawford knocks out Shawn Porter in the 10th round. And I'm going to slowly break down this fight. Terence Crawford, off the rip, had too much size. He had too much reach. Terence Crawford was going to the body beautifully. He was using the lateral movement. Even when Shawn tried to push the action, Shawn was having a little amount of success with the overhand right. And Terence Crawford was just using his beautiful boxing ability that he has. And Terence Crawford, you know, this was a masterclass performance by Terence Crawford. This proves to Terence Crawford that he could have fought the best opposition and beat a lot of guys. Shawn Porter has never been stopped, has never been knocked out, and Terence Crawford was the guy to do it. Terence Crawford is on a 6 to 7 knockout streak. So Terence Crawford is looking really, really dangerous right now in the welterweight division after this win. Now we can say that, oh, Terence Crawford just got Shawn Porter on his resume. Well, Terence Crawford has a lot of knockouts, right? Terence Crawford could be a problem in the welterweight division. If I was Jaron Ennis right now, you need to not press for that Terence Crawford fight. You do not need to fight Terence Crawford right now. I think that Jaron Ennis, if Jaron Ennis gets in the ring with Terence Crawford, he's going to be shell-shocked. Terence Crawford shocks the world last night with this win. Shawn Porter has never been stopped, never been knocked out or anything like that. Shawn Porter, I want to refer to this real quick. Congratulations on a great career. He came out and said he was going to retire. I knew Shawn Porter was going to retire eventually. He has a lot of things focused on. Even Shawn Porter, when he fell asleep on TV, you know, he was just not focused and motivated. You know, he was tired. He's got a lot of other things to do. And he's making other money other ways, you know. Shawn Porter, you know, he's done with the sport of boxing. He had one hell of a career. He had one of the best resumes I have ever seen. And now Terence Crawford, you know, with a loss makes his resume look even better. So, you know, at the end of the day, Shawn Porter had one hell of a career. We can't never discredit Shawn Porter and his skill. Shawn Porter, you know, he just didn't have the power. He just didn't have the accumulated punches of power to hurt Terence Crawford. We see Terence Crawford hurt Shawn Porter, and Shawn Porter buzzed Terence Crawford. And it was an action-packed fight. I wouldn't say action-packed, but, you know, it was a tip-tap-back fight. But, you know, Terence Crawford has really proven to me that he can beat these top welterweights, even despite of the guys he fought in the past that a lot of guys were shot. Terence Crawford is ready to fight these names. I believe Terence Crawford beats Keith Thurman. Let's start like this. I think Terence Crawford knocks out Keith Thurman. I think Terence Crawford knocks out Danny Garcia. I think Terence Crawford knocks out Mikey Garcia. I think Terence Crawford can knock out Jaron Ennis. That's not going to be an easy task, but I think Terence Crawford knocks out Jaron Ennis because Terence Crawford, he's already been in that spotlight. And I have to say this, Terence Crawford trains like he has nothing at all. And Terence Crawford, you know, if he ever gets to fight with Errol Spence Jr., reports has it that Errol Spence Jr. came out and said they're blocking him from the fight. I'm not surprised. Hopefully the WBC can do something about pushing for the fight, but you know the WBC and WBO, you know they're probably not going to do nothing because you know we don't know how the relationship between the WBC and WBO are. But congratulations to Terence Crawford. Man, you have proven to me that you can fight the best of these welterweights. And I think the biggest task for you will be Jaron Ennis and Errol Spence Jr. This will put Terence Crawford above. If Terence Crawford beats Errol Spence Jr. and take down the young lion and Jaron Ennis, this is just my opinion, I think he will exceed over Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez, what would have made him stay the pound for pound best, let's say Terence Crawford did fought Errol Spence Jr. and Jerron Ennis. Canelo Alvarez, if he would have just fought Benavidez and shut his mouth, Canelo would have been number one throughout the rest of his career and retired, okay? And plus, Canelo's about to be pound for pound number one for a long time because he's about to fight a dude up in cruiserweight. So he's about to be a 5-division champion if Canelo Alvarez is successful. But Terence Crawford, I think that he's ready. I think Terence Crawford been ready for a long time. We just don't know the business with Terence Crawford. Maybe Terence Crawford wanted these big fights. Like Terence Crawford said, they just put Shawn Porter on him as a pawn, you know. We don't know what to expect from Terence Crawford business-wise. Well, we don't know if Terence Crawford is going to lead Top Rank. Obviously, Bo Mack has a lot of fighters for Top Rank. I don't think that Terence Crawford is going to leave. If Terence Crawford leaves, Bo Mack, you know, is like, look, man, I can't leave. I got my fighter shit. Who knows? I would like to see Terence Crawford leave and become a free agent and work by fight basis. But according to Bob, you know, he's not gonna let him leave with that WBO belt. But at the end of the day, I want Terence Crawford to fight these big fights. I hope that Terence Crawford tries to push for the big fight. If Terence Crawford can't get a deal done with Top Rank to make the Errol Spence Jr. fight happen, he needs to leave, okay? Terence Crawford needs to leave. He's just wasting his talent at this point. He already beat Shawn Porter. We don't know how long Terence Crawford has in the arsenal left to be the best that he can be. I would love to see Terence Crawford fight Jerron Ennis. I think Terence Crawford, you know, will go the distance with Jerron Ennis. I think that will be a very interesting fight. Both guys have power in both hands. I think that Terence Crawford could beat Errol Spence Jr. I think that this performance tonight, Terence Crawford showed me that he can definitely make adjustments. I think that Errol Spence Jr. has a shorter arm reach as well, but Errol Spence Jr. He's going to find his way to get on the inside, and Terence Crawford neutralized Shawn Porter from getting on the inside, and this makes for a very interesting fight. And congratulations to Terence Crawford. I couldn't be more proud of this win for Terence Crawford. I want to see Terence Crawford finish his career with with the big dogs on his resume. Terence Crawford has no choice to go after these big fights at this point. He needs these big fights. If you Bud fans wants to prove me wrong, make the fight happen between Errol Spence now. He stopped Shawn Porter, okay? Now it's time for Terence Crawford to go after Errol Spence. There's no more time to waste, because if this fight doesn't happen, this will be the hugest letdown in boxing history of today. This will be one of the biggest letdowns that this fight has never happened between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. But I'm not going to keep this video too long. Terence Crawford knocks out Shawn Porter, like I said, brutally in the 10th round by a stoppage. I called it. I usually don't call fights right, but I called it. If you guys missed that fight, y'all shouldn't have missed it. But with that being said, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.